work as an author, I traffic in fiction. I do not traffic in voice. I found myself surrounded by a monochrome world with limited opportunities.
Now you might pray to God, y'all, but I like Lucifer best of all. Don't keep changing, waiting. Don't keep changing, waiting. Sunday school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep changing, waiting. Don't keep changing, waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub.
Hey everybody, it's I Count Jackula, your favorite satanic streamer here on Satanic Sunday, and the sin is in officially. It's official. It's happening. It's happening again. So I see that Brian, Dustin, Johnny, Tango, and the rest are with us. How is every little thing? Hoping it's good. Hoping things are going well. It is a strange time in my life. Going through a lot of changes, not just to my life and health, but to other things as well. Man, this thing looks blurry. That's not good. I don't like that. I don't like it to be blurry. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. The hell? Oh, wait. Okay, that's a bit better. That is a bit better. Whew. Hey, Kira, how you doing? Hoping everything is okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Tango's having an interview tomorrow. Oh, good going. Oh, we also got Hurricane Maddie and Cat Hermit. That's good. I think as far as, I gotta be honest, as far as the new Crow goes, I can't give that thing a fair shot. I like the original too much. So, I don't know if you're going to hear anything about that movie from me because I'm just not that interested. Hurricane says he's late for work on this 10 p.m. train into Pittsburgh. Oh, geez. Good Lord. You know, like that ain't no fun. What an odd thing to have happen, that color change. Oh, that's because the white balance is on automatic, and it probably shouldn't be. And now everything's looking blue, so we gotta find that sweet spot. Woo! Look at the colors, man. Yeah, well, that's one of those movies that's hard to remake because, like, all the people that really love that movie are, like, you know, adults and Gen Xers. So that's going to get interesting because it looks like they're going to try to, like, they're obviously going to try to, like, update it. I don't know if that's going to work, man. You know? You know, that's just one of those things.
Of failing and the desire of succeeding. You have to do these things completely pure, without fear, without
Go monochrome and fuck with everyone on acid.
outlast a result. Are the pure
Maybe. You know, I just kind of wish that, like, boop, boop. Yeah, I just don't know, like, what, like, when we do white balance, it does that. You know, but we turn it off. It does some other weird shit like this. But I think that's just like a problem with webcams. I've been trying to figure that out for a while. See, now I look really pink. But you almost ate a dot, but decided not to because you got work tomorrow. Yeah, ain't that the way? Ain't that the way? Oh, so yeah, tomorrow is Monday. For some reason, I thought that was gonna be a lot more dramatic than it was. I was like, wait, am I doing anything tomorrow? In particular, you know, like, nope. You know, and most of my life is like consumed with getting Babylon ready. So there's not a lot I can talk about. There's not a lot I could talk about that I feel would be particularly interesting because it'd be contextless. You know, if I say, yeah, we hammered out all the stuff with the Apostle class and then moved on to the Cryptid Keeper, which seems to be in pretty good shape now, that doesn't mean much. Oh, hey, Rachel the Furball Druid. Man. I don't know. Maybe this music is a little too, like, downbeat. You know, maybe we gotta do something a little bit more upbeat. But yeah, I think I can safely say that this thing is going to carve out a very unique space for itself. You know, hopefully that will be enough to keep it going for a bit. Oh, GL Nate's got updates. He commissioned art for one of the most powerful characters in fantasy horror workplace, and people frequently realize he's actually native. Kira's watching like a series and probably watched all the movies of the series. Which one? Yeah, a company's trying to make a House of Thousand Corpses board game. Any thoughts? I'm going to have to see it first. I mean, that's not a bad idea. You know, that has an audience. Like, I don't know how much of an audience, much like my own product, but it should be enough to support a board game. Oh, you went to HorrorCon. You went to a HorrorCon yesterday, Hurricane. Oh, how was it? You know, yeah, the manuscript for Babylon is almost done. We have a couple of major changes that need to happen because it's just not working. Might focus on that this week, early this week, just to get it done. Because really, at this point, when I think about it, it's all about organization, fleshing out the city of Babylon itself, while still leaving a lot of things open for people to put their own shit in, to put their own stuff in, and then finishing up the Game Master section. And I think at that point, the manuscript's finished. You know, I wanted to get it done by the complete manuscript first pass done by the end of March, and maybe we'll hit that. That would be fantastic. Because during the editing phase, the first edit will not take as long as writing the damn thing. That might take another month. It might take another month or two. But I want the manuscript done simply so that all the information is there. Because that's how a manuscript is. You know, but yeah, I think a House of a Thousand Corpses board game could work. It all depends on how it's played. You know, is it fun? Hey, Mouse of Dawn. You know, but it's definitely a oh, we've been doing the player test phase since like about a year in. We've been doing play testing for like the last like 2 years. Because we wanted it to quickly get into a usable shape, a basic usable shape as quickly as possible so that we could then begin breaking it. You know, put it in a real game, put it in a real like game scenario, a real play scenario, and to see what worked and what didn't. Yeah, so we've been testing the entire time, almost the entire time. Like, as long as there has been enough of a game to test. You know, we didn't see any reason to pull back on that since we knew so many people. You know, we knew so many people who played role-playing games. It was like, well, let's test it out in front of them and see what happens. Yeah, there's actually a game I'm kind of interested in called, was it Shivers? Yeah, Shiver. I wanted to check that out just to see, like, how it was. Do 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 do. Yeah, Shiver's not bad. Yeah, TTRPG nerds and horror nerds have overlap with a lot of things, actually. They have overlap with a lot of other aspects of fandom. Plus, it's like a fandom in and of itself. You know, in many ways, it's like... In many ways, horror sits at this interesting, like, hub. Because some of the earliest, like, movie nerds were horror fans. You know, like, you think about, like, you know, famous Monsters of Movieland, Forrest J. Ackerman, stuff that Forrest J. Ackerman was doing. It all centered around horror movies, even though it went off into other places. You know, don't forget that, like, comic book fandom didn't started in the period of time when comics were most famous for publishing horror stories. Like, that's when comic book fandom started. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to buy a copy of Shiver. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess that's just going to be the way it is. Oh, looks like it's down to $15. The PDF anyway. All right, just put that in the old cart. Because in a few days I should have some more money in ye old account. And I think $15 is a fair price. More than fair, I think. Huh. Best thing about Shiver is a neutral setting, so you can adapt it, just like a GURPS game. Yeah. That's what that's the impression I got, where it was basically like, you know, what's you could either do like Monster of the Week or like what is our milieu, like what is our setting, and as long as you're in like some sort of horror movie scenario, you can just use it. Oh, yeah, no, we weren't talking about Shivers, a.k.a. They Came From Within. Which is an excellent film, by the way. Hi, Cat. Gomez? He's going to go out and meow again. Oh, man. As you can tell, I'm a little brain drained, and I apologize for that. We had a playtest session last night, actually, that was a little intense, because we're trying to get all of the classes ironed out. And each one has taken us like 4 hours to like go through. You know, so it's very time consuming. It's very time consuming. Like that's how we've been starting each playtest session recently. It's like, all right, let's go through one of the classes and get everything ironed out. Now, if I want to get the whole thing done by the end of March, I'm going to have to step that up. Or push back the timeline, which I don't want to do. Yeah. Post-game brain drain. Yeah.
Like me when they ask for 3 IDs. You see the DDC and the AZT, you, me, and he, and the future that might be a medicine song. I know you're faking because you're taking too long. This good might kill. This good might kill. Give me box of cars, give me box of trucks, give me box of bars, give me snacks and soup. I'ma tighten you up, then I'ma tighten you up. You think you're frightened of what? When that's right for your gut, you got you wiping your butt. They've been typing it up, they got a script for us. We in the gifted class, and he was smarter than the average bear. Till the damage barely missed his ass. Till the next time, sex in the next rhyme. Fill to the hilt, but that's a survivor guilt. And then if she got spilled, you see how he got killed. The pinball till the end of the game. The crew with the name, the wall of fame, the shame and the blame. Hey, his aim was on you, but then it came with the flow. And there was no way they could know until it came with the view. Cause he engraved with the fate of the tail of the tape. They hit the clinic while you're dying, mama trying to spit it.
All right, see you on break, Maddie. Let's see. Well, yeah, a good setting always lends itself to an RPG, you know. It's one of the big things it's about. You know, a successful RPG either needs to be extremely versatile or have a very, very specific setting in mind. You know, like I'm hoping Shivers is very flexible because it has no specific setting in mind. So that means it's got to be able to cover a bunch of stuff that is general enough that it can be applied anywhere. Or have little components that are easily placeable. You know, like I went for specific setting. And at that point, you have to make sure that everything fits that theme. GL Knight says Shivers might be too flexible. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, my big thing is just really honestly, you gotta nail it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do have to nail it. You need like one big home run. You know, keep it as simple as it needs to be and no simpler. This is a new RPG? No, this is still Babylon I'm talking about. Like, a setting, because it's a completely different setting with its own, like, kind of themes. That takes a long time. That takes a while to develop. Like, the basic idea... When you're developing a setting, the basic idea for the setting should come very quickly. You know, but that part was basically, okay, monsters in the city. You're playing monsters in the city. And what they all do. You know, and you're living their lives. Like, that was the basic idea. You know, take any horror movie and flip the monster and the main character, you know. And that's a big deal. That is a big deal. It takes a long time. Whereas, one of the reasons a lot of people like to try to do the novel to TTRPG thing is that there's this feeling of, oh, the setting's already created. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You know, like sometimes yes, sometimes no. Because sometimes a novel is very limited and it doesn't answer any of the broad questions that you would need to actually play an RPG in that world because not enough of the world is defined. Great example of this that you would think would be really good in a lot of horror games, where especially ones where you're playing the monster, would be what is it called? The White Trash Zombie series, the White Trash Zombie Girl series. The problem with that is that there's not enough of the world built out for players to do anything because it's really just all about this one character, and you know, and her experiences, and weird things happen to her, but there wouldn't be a lot for players to do in that world specifically. It doesn't lend itself to like many things outside of those immediate outside of the stories that are written. On the other hand, you've got things like Sunglasses After Dark, which absolutely that world could be expanded. Like that world could easily be expanded based on what you've been given. The problem with that is it would just look like every other urban horror setting because it was one of the early ones. And everyone's kind of like cribbed from it ever since. So you wouldn't want to do one specific to that book for that reason, but it has all the information that it has enough information that you could create stories in that world. You know, whereas like Hellraiser would be hard because that's very, very, very specific to that world, whereas a Magica or Weave World would not be. Weave World and a Magica have a ton of setting information. Like a ton of stuff that's just about those universes. You know, for the same reason you really couldn't do a role-playing game centered around Stephen King's It, but you could do it around the Dark Tower series. Yeah, the Harry Lamour books really well. For those of you who don't know, Harry Lamour is Clive Barker's detective guy, who's in a lot of his stories. But the only one that has been brought to film, I believe, is The Lord of Illusions. Like, Harry Lamour also shows up in the Scarlet Gospel. Like, he's the main character of the Scarlet Gospel. You know, but all the things in the that Harry Lamour runs into, you could absolutely make a setting out of. You know, because Harry Lamour is a character that Harry Lamour is also like, he runs into everything. He's like a Constantine kind of guy. He's not as much of an asshole as Constantine is. Like, Harry Lamour honestly is trying to be helpful. I'll tell you, he gets fucked up in Scarlet Gospel. Like, a lot of nasty things happen to him. I mean, going up against Pinhead, you know. Bakula was okay. Like, he did an okay job. Like, I would have preferred, like, were I to recast, like, Harry Lamour, I probably would cast someone like Alan Tudyk. For that matter, Keanu Reeves probably would make a much better Harry Lamour than he made John Constantine. You know, actually, like, you know, Keanu Reeves would make a really good Harry Lamour. You know, because Keanu Reeves, like, kind of kind of has the, like, I'm a nice guy, but I am so sick of this shit. Like, just as a baseline. Yeah, Clive Barker's Nightbreed would be cool. Like, that was actually part of the inspiration of Babylon. I know, kitty. Trying to get... Got out again. Yeah, Harry Lamore wants to do good, but this bad shit just keeps happening to that guy. Like, I'm hoping Clive Barker eventually does another story about him, like another novel. I mean, although with that in mind, after having faced the devil, I don't know where else he could go. The character is not named John. Well, I mean, he's named Harry. There are a lot of magical detective characters named Harry. Yeah, Heaven is a scarily underused villain. Yeah, that's one of the things in Babylon. Like, you are being hunted by Heaven. Heaven is a fucking piece of shit. Well, you know, to me, the devil is really all about self-discovery and freedom once you realize that the world is imperfect. You know, because the world is imperfect. And we all have that, like, thing inside of us, like, well, everything could be great if you just all listen to me, right? You know, what in the fall from heaven, what is it that the devil did that anyone with a moral compass wouldn't have done in the right circumstances? You know, that's like a big deal. You know, I'm of the opinion that's a huge deal. People talk a lot about shadow work, and I don't know, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know if you guys are actually doing it. And I don't mean like everyone in this chat, I mean just like in general, because it's not just like, you know, the bad part of you. It's also just the part of you that you're ashamed of. Things that you conceal, that you put in the shadow of the persona that you present. You know, we all have that. But the thing is that, like Blanche in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, you are in that wheelchair. Like, that thing is a part of you. And it has a purpose. It has a purpose, and you better figure out what it is. You need to understand what it is at every level. You know. Yeah. If Lucifer's big sin is pride, then what is God's? Then what is God? People say pride, but that's really, really, really nebulous, you know. Like, if we're going to keep things in the Judeo-Christian context, in the biblical context, would it be more appropriate to say that it was arrogance? You know, not appreciating his own limitations. Was there a better way of going about all this? You know, that kind of thing. You know, these stories can tell us a lot if put into, like, the proper context. And one of the things I detest the most about monotheism is the idea that God is infallible. I think that's despicable because, like, I think once God should be fallible. Yeah, well, you could call it hubris, but then at that point, what is God? You know, hubris seems a little too grand and distant. I like arrogance. Yeah, the Bible's God is deeply flawed. Yeah, deeply flawed. You know, but with that said, I still think a lot of the stories in the Bible are very useful. They're quite powerful. I don't like a lot of them, but I don't have to like every story. I don't like every Greek myth either. You know, but they can still teach you things. Like another one, the Eddas, the Norse Eddas. One of the things that comes up again and again in the Eddas, if you know to look for it, is, whoa, you are a paranoid people. You know how many fucking problems the Norse gods and heroes have that could fucking be solved by just not being so paranoid? You know, not being so, like, afraid of outsiders. Holy crap. You know, it's what happens to Beowulf. It's what happens to Siegfried. It's what happens to the Aesir. You know, like, just calm down. you know? Almost started a couple of War of the Giants over translation errors, you know, like. You know, I think one of the things I think is really, really important is I think America is right now experiencing and starting to understand its great mythic flaw. And I think that great mythic flaw, when you get right down to it, really is racism. Specifically racism. That is America's great mythic flaw. And like other like other mythic flaws, they're very, very, very solvable. They could be addressed, you know. But you know, it could also just be our downfall. You know, we could lose. You know, America could completely go under because it refuses to fucking deal with that problem. You know, maybe it'll beat the odds. It's done it before. But, yeah, it's, you know, I don't know how to say it, but if you want America to be the shining city on the fucking hill, you got to fucking be good for it. You got to actually do it. And that's hard, you know, that's hard. But more than hard, it's work. It's work, and we have to start working on one of our other great flaws, which is cynicism. And I don't mean like, you know, the occasional cynical remark. I mean like the deep cynicism. The cynicism that people say, that people use when you're like, well, we could feed somebody, but we can't feed everybody. Meh, so why bother? Like, that's the deep cynicism. You know, because that is just designed to make people who are trying feel bad. Meow. 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 I want to pet the kitty. I want to pet the kitty. Oh, it's not the kitty. Oh, no. Oh, 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 oh. There he is. Oh, camera moved. Well, he's behind the social media now. Yeah, imagine how much better America could have been if we did not fuck ourselves so thoroughly to fuck over minorities. Oh yeah, no, totally. And we know this to be the case. You know, that's the upsetting thing, is we know that to be the case because we have other countries to use as examples. You know, both in a positive and a negative sense. You know, why isn't healthcare in America more available? It's not the fear of communism or the fear of socialism, although that is a part of it. You know, that's how it's couched. That's the excuse. But what it really is America's like, well, I had to work for mine. And you're like, yeah, but you'll get it too. Well, no, you need to work for it. What the fuck? What do you mean work for it? Work to go to the hospital? All right. No. I'm going to let him wait for a little bit. He has that door open and closed for him all time. All day, every day. You know, but it is one of those, you know, but going back to the other thing, it's like, hey, we don't want to have to do this because, like, I didn't get it. Oh, come on. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, American entitlement, specifically conservative entitlement. You know, I'm like, look, man, I'm always like, look, man, I'm just trying to make things work. You know, probably the best thing that has been done for the economy is the student loan forgiveness. You know, that change is going to be slow to see, but it will also be long lasting. Like, that's the kind of thing that it'll take, like, we won't really see the benefits of that till, like, the tail end of the next administration, provided Biden's still president. Normally, I would, in other elections, you know, in pre-2016 elections, I would have said that as long as that is kept in place. But we know that the opposition does not want to keep that in place. You know, so why do we got to fuck these people over? It's like, I want my life to be better. You know, no one having to pay out of pocket for fucking medical expenses sounds like that benefits me. Know what I mean? Yeah, fuck that shit. It's all bad. It's bullshit and it's bad for you. You know, I've met plenty of entitled people. They tend to be conservative assholes. You know, they don't even tend to be liberals. You know, like, you know, and this latest controversy over, like, you know, aid to Gaza and all that. I'm just sort of like, see, this is why I stay out of this conversation. That's why I say my piece and don't debate people. You know? I'm not here to change on that level. I'm not here to change your mind. I am here to tell you how I see it. And that's it. You know, I'll be honest, I'm actually quite surprised we didn't just go all in. You know, we're not engaging in police actions. You know, we're not aiding Israel any more than what was previously promised. And we're trying to focus on humanitarian effort. That's actually good. That's actually all good stuff. Now, the situation is horrendous, is horrific. It's horrible and it shouldn't be happening. But that die's cast, man. That die's cast. You know, that's like fucking your house being underwater and going like, well, if it hadn't been for that flood, yeah, well, too late. Yeah, suck on the government teat. So? My real question is, why is it always companies that get to do that and not the people? Eh? Healthcare and housing, baby. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And also, we got to get these fucking investment funds out of healthcare. Like, holy shit, are they causing problems? You want to know why there is a shortage of doctors in America? That is why. Because the doctors know that when things go wrong because they don't have what they need, they're the one who goes down. They're the one who takes the heat. Even if they have been fighting that system, they've been fighting it and trying to get what they need. It's horrendous. You know, nobody wants to be a part of a system that is sinking. Canada has that problem too. Yeah, it's not as bad as America, though. America's slipping on healthcare pretty badly, and you're going to really start hearing about it in about 4 years, because that's what's going to really, really come home to roost. I would disagree with that, Malcedon. I disagree with that. I don't think the government of Israel is great, but I don't think we can blame all the Israelis for it. You know, the problem is that over there, that war is actually incredibly unpopular. They don't want to do it. They don't want it to be happening. And Netanyahu wants to, you know, I would say he wants to be a little Hitler. You know, because this really is his war. This really is all his fault. You know, just like the Gulf of Tonkin incident that was used to start the Vietnam War. You're like, is that what this is really about, dude? This thing. Especially when, you know, going to war no one's really spoiling for. Except the leadership. Like, we need a permanent ceasefire in that area, but who knows how that's going to happen. You know, do the Palestinians think that they have enough of a stake you know, do they have enough of a stake in, you know, being part of Israel? Because I think right now the answer is no. It should be an easier pathway to get doctors. Oh, I agree. But like, the medical industry in America is in absolute turmoil right now. Right now, things that work in spite of the system, not because of it. You know, still better than nothing. But as long as it's intended to leech money out of the patient, you got a problem. Because you can't do that. You know, the whole system will capsize. You know, and who knows what it'll take with it. You know, that's the big scary part. That's why everyone's been wanting it to try to change it politically, you know, through voting and representation, because then it can be done in a permanent way. And Obamacare helped a lot. It actually did help the medical industry a lot, but not enough. You know, not enough to stop some of this other shit that's going on. You know, there so many doctors, particularly younger ones, hate working under, you know, the investment system because they don't get what they need. And when you don't get what you need over and over and over again, what do you think happens to morale? And how do you think that affects readiness and focus and trying? It has a pretty corrosive effect. You know, you're expecting doctors to be saints at that point. Expecting people to turn to Jesus? God. Hey, look, if Jesus wants to come down and personally, like, heal what ails every single citizen of the earth, fine. 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 You know, wants to make sure there's no infant mortality? Hey, I'm all for that. You could choose your doctor. Yeah, only in the academic sense. You know, it's a magician's choice. It's a choice that often doesn't matter. The irony is that a different doctor can make a huge difference. But there's a whole system set in front of you that makes that journey almost impossible. Like, I'm going through, like, I have to go through that tomorrow. And I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. You know, I only hope that there's a good doctor I can work with on the other end. Or that can work with me on the other end. Yeah, it is hard to find a good doctor that actually listens. It is. It is. It's not impossible, but it is hard. You know, there are a lot of bad ideas that are still kind of entrenched in the medical field. Body mass index, for example. It's not that it's completely useless. It's that it hasn't really been refined. Because there's exceptions. And there are a lot of them. There are a lot of exceptions. I'm giving up. Look. There's only one guy who's allowed to call me that, okay? His name's Good Guy Eddie. And your name's Bitcoin. I don't see a Good Guy Eddie in there. So you don't get to fucking call me that. Yeah, the greatest medical system on earth. Some dipshit on Fox News. No, we should. We should. We have everything we need to make that true. But over and over and over again, the money is the issue. The money is what makes the entire thing less than it should be. You know, do we have the science? Yeah. Do we have the technology? Shit, yeah, we do. Can everyone get access to it? Nope. Why? Money. I still remember back in the 90s when the argument in California over whether or not companies could contract with you on a year-to-year basis came up. And I was like, oh God, this is going to go badly. This is going to go bad no matter what fucking happens, because that is only part of the issue. The other part of the issue is what kind of benefits they need to give you. Because if companies pay for your health care, which everyone at the time knew was the case, that's what they're really after, bro. That's what they're after, bro. You know, they want that sweet health care. You know, they want that dental. You know, and I'm like, they're just going to use this. They're going to find the way out of this that prevents them from trying to do that, which is a bad move. It's a bad move for a company because you're just waiting at that point for something to happen that shuts the whole thing down. And it did happen. It did happen. It absolutely fucking happened. That was COVID. How many of those do you think we can actually go through before, like, we're just down for the count? Health is important. It's super important. Yeah, if we could afford decades and never use mothballed military aircraft, we could have afforded universal health care. Yeah, and we wouldn't have even have had to give up too many of those mothballed military crafts either. It wouldn't have been that much. You know, I'm of the opinion that, I'm sorry, the pharmaceutical industry needs to be the one behind the 8 ball, not the patient. They're the ones we're giving trust to. Public trust. We're giving public trust to those people, and they've clearly not been good for it. Oh, let's just tell people that our new synthetic opioid is non-addictive. What? How's that even possible? Oh, it wasn't. You know, there's your fentanyl crisis. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Mexicans are coming in and using illegal fentanyl. It's the most deadly drug." Really? Yeah. You only get good health care as an active serviceman, and only as an active serviceman. You know, like not even the vets get it. They have a better deal than everybody else, but the care's not sufficiently better. Bro, what's your ethnicity? You look Chinese to me. Well, you look like a bitch. Yeah, the VA is fucking... I got friends that work for the VA. They tell me all about it. You know, all that's good and all that's bad. There's a lot more. There's a lot of, I can't believe they did this. You know, I'll tell you, I'm not paying for this man's health care. Like, the guy's a soldier. I hate war. I hate the military. But I'm still of the opinion that if dude goes to war for you, you're kind of responsible for them. You know, my brother is a vet, and the VA was giving him a hard time when he needed urgent care. Yeah, less people are joining the military. Also true. Also true. Like, they're not really hurting for recruits, but it is down. It is down by a noticeable chunk. You know, I sometimes think that I think the reality is that we don't need to worry about the size of our military. It's big. It's big. And whenever a war happens, recruitment goes up because most people want to defend the place they live. Yeah, 2 systems with healthcare, one for young people, one for old people. I'm like, why? Like, shouldn't that be up to the medical professionals? You know, but maybe that's just me. You know, that's just monstrous. But we'll see. We'll see. I never thought we would see drug legalization. I didn't think that was going to happen. So who knows? Maybe America will change its tune. It's looking like it's going to have to eventually. Like, man, you do that. Whoo! Because most people get into the medical field not to get rich, but to help people. Yeah, also the GOP, let's hold up promotions and totally ignore vets. It's like, oh, come on, man. Yeah, wasn't that... God, what's the name of that guy? Like, he had some real, like, doofy name, and now I can't remember it. Tuberman. Yeah. Parents think they live in heaven because marijuana is legal. Like, yeah. Well, yeah, but like, take the win. Take the win. That was a win. Yeah, I like Morris Tuberville. Man, that guy was a jerk. You know, what was his whole, like, fucking name? Yeah, Tommy Tuberville. Like, doesn't that already sound like a character in, like, a fucking Catch-22 or fucking Doctor Strangelove fucking parody of the Senate? Senator Tommy Tuberville. You know, like, what the fuck? Oh, well, we can't let the liberals have a win. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. I don't need that shit. Yeah, when Jon Stewart had to shame Congress for a third time for them to move on the issue. Yes. Yeah, not only, or the countless times he had to shame them in order to give 9/11 first responders the health care they were promised. What? What? Like, how many times do you have to do that? It's ridiculous. This is the problem with liberals. They never remember 9/11. But you're the ones holding up. Okay. All right. You're the ones holding up fucking the first responders' benefits. So who forgets? Who forgets? Fuck you. Huh. Reader Payne. You remember 9/11? Yeah, I think we all do, actually. All of us who were around for it, I'm pretty sure we all remember it. You know, maybe that's just us. You know, fucking 23, almost 23 years later. Yeah, I still remember it. And then constant dumbassery kept that shit from being rebuilt. It's like, you could just rebuild it, you know. Hey, how about that? But no, everyone had to, like, God, I can't even go into it. It just pisses me off so much. Yeah, I was of the opinion that it should have been like, no, rebuild that fucker 10 feet taller, you know? Like, yeah, they flushed a bunch of constitutional rights down the toilet. Yep. Yeah, they pulled the Vietnam all over again. They pulled the Vietnam all over again. Another Gulf of Tonkin incident. I mean, with the benefit of at least, like, this time, a building was destroyed. Something was destroyed. You know, something did actually happen. You know, it's like World War I. Did it really start because an Archduke got shot? No, technically, no. It was really just because people wanted to kill each other. Like, everyone was pissed. Everyone wanted their empire back, and they were willing to fucking do trench warfare. That's why World War I happened. It was just waiting for something to set it off. Some excuse that could be used. And Archduke Ferdinand fit the bill. You know? Bastards. You know? Bastards. All right. You know what? I think I should get offline for now. Kind of feel things dipping, but let's see if we can't look at something, you know. This is a quickie, an oldie but goodie.
They are not no, sir. They are not a gift from God. They are an unholy curse from the beast we call the Desolate One.
I don't really want to hear this, Randall.
The first of the fallen, the spoiler of virgins, the master of abortions.
You know I don't like to talk about dark forces, Randall.
Let me help you, what are you saying, Grandma? Grandma, what was it like to be on the holiday side? Late that night, I awoke from my sleep, hearing unknown voices laughing insane.
All right. I'll see you guys later. You take care. Ave Satanas Disco Inferno. Don't forget to wipe your ass. Remember, Satan and I love you all very much.